So it turns out that half the people who use the phrase values and principles of the Constitution don't actually know what that means. And a majority of that half is embarrassed to admit that they don't know what the values and principles of the Constitution are, and worse off, they do not know where to get that information. Hi everyone, thanks again for stopping by. My name is Sandra Ochola. I am a lawyer and a two-time author, and I love creating information for the betterment of society. Now, moving on to the focus of today's video, which is defining values and principles and finding out what their relationship is and how that is espoused in our Constitution. We're going to start first by defining values, and your values are the qualities and standards that govern your behavior. And your values can be as diverse as your experiences, and they're often influenced by your background, where you come from, the experiences you had in life, so that you can say that my value or one of my values is honesty. Someone else will say my value is integrity. Someone else will say my value is hard work. So they are as diverse as our different experiences and backgrounds. So to reiterate, your values are the qualities and standards that govern your behavior. Your principles, on the other hand, are the rules and beliefs that govern your actions. The rules and beliefs that govern your actions. So to connect those two, because oftentimes your values can give birth. If I could use that term, your values can give rise to your principles. So when you say your value is honesty, for instance, then it follows that your actions and your principle is that you can never tell a lie. If your value is integrity, then it follows that the principle that governs your life is that your actions and your words always match. Right? So let's relate that to the Constitution. The Constitution at Article 10 provides for our values and principles, and it says that the national values and principles of governance are binding to all state organs, state officers, public officers, and all persons, and they include patriotism, national unity, democracy, participation of the people, human dignity, and the last one indicated in that list is sustainable development. So these are a list of our values and principles. So for example, if we say that one of our values as a country, we'll select from that list, is integrity or transparency and accountability. But let's start with integrity first. If we say one of our values is integrity, then we have a whole chapter of that in the Constitution where we're talking about leadership and integrity, and then we list down the principles, the actions that public officers and state officers are supposed to take, and our expectations of them as public officers. So the value coincides with the principle within the Constitution. If we say now next is transparency and accountability as one of our values, then you go to Article 201, which is the beginning of Chapter 12 on public finance. And the first article there, it says Principles of Public Finance. And it says the following principles shall guide all aspects of public finance in the Republic. And these principles include that public money shall be used in a prudent and responsible way, and financial management shall be responsible, and fiscal reporting shall be clear. Another principle is that the burdens and benefits of the use of resources and public borrowing shall be shared equitably between present and future generations. So you have the value talked about at Article 10, and then you have the principles listed to elaborate on the value or to link the values and the principles within the Constitution. But one thing I'd like to make clear is that it's not always that a value gives rise to a principle. Like, it's not always that they need to connect, because values change over time. For instance, if you are younger, you believed in, say, again, honesty. But then as you grow up, life happens and you decide you don't want to be a honest person anymore. As life goes by, you decide integrity is no longer your value. Maybe along the way you find Christ, and then you decide that now my greatest value is going to be my relationship with God. And so values change with time. But principles are often hard and fast. So that if I'm to use the example of integrity, if you do not believe in integrity anymore, it does not mean that now the principles of life and the principles of society are going to change to accommodate your changing values. If you don't believe in integrity, as a society, as a community that has already spelled that out in the Constitution, we still expect you to continue acting in a way that promotes integrity and brings respect to the offices that we have. So your values can change, but principles are often hard and fast, so that even within the Constitution, you can find principles that are stand alone. So I'm hoping this sheds light for that majority and for you as well on what values and principles mean broadly and what now the values and principles of the Constitution are. And I'm hoping that you can share this video with as many young people as possible, because I believe the things we discuss on this platform are lifelong lessons for the future generation, so that the information they have, they can use it as a tool to better their lives, and they can use it as a tool for them to fashion their particular values as a society. Because I often say that for us, maybe these are the values that we have for this generation, and 10, 20 years down the line, the younger people will want to embrace different values depending on where they are in life and depending on where the world is at that particular time. So let us give them as much information as possible. Let us give them the tools and the agency they need to shape their future. And while at it, please get them a copy of the Teen's Guide to the Constitution. It's available at Nuria Store. And have them do these exercises. And I'm sure you can also do the exercises as well, because they still help in internalizing what the Constitution provides. So if you look at page 31, we have a table there, a column that lists the values and principles of the Constitution. So the first column lists the values and principles. The second column gives a definition of what it means. The third column is why it is important to me and my country. And it's a whole, exercise, something they can spend their weekend on when you want to have some alone time, but most importantly, something that gives them an opportunity to internalize the Constitution and to engage with its contents and to get to understand what our values and principles as they are in the Constitution mean, and what it means to them as individuals and future leaders and future citizens and future voters. So please get this for the young people in your space. I will not shame you if you decide to get it for yourself as a grown teenager, because still the goal is for us to get as much information as we can, to be as knowledgeable as we can about the Constitution, in order that we are creating the kind of society that we envision for ourselves and for the future generations. So until then, feel free to reach out for, say, further information on values and principles, any questions you may have regarding the law, regarding leadership, regarding governance, and I'll be happy to research and bring you what I know, what I have, and to share my experiences and my knowledge with you. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and catch you on the next one.